know if you can see this slight bulge in my fist? It's a piece of Proto-Erozoic rock, and it tastes like an armpit if you lick it.
In protest at supercontinental collisions, my colleague and I will mash together. At the end of the performance, we will be physically joined in places, scattered in others. We are boring deep into the geological truth of Scottish and Irish poetry. This is boring.
The Caledonian orogeny was of mountain building era, roughly 450 million years ago, Ma. I hope you don't mind me calling you Ma.
We reject the middle class notions of Scotland, Ireland. There were two supercontinents, Avalonia and Laurentia. I am dedicated to true devolution, the re-separation of the continents to the ideal achieved 400 million years ago.
This rock is from a time way back when Greenland, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and the USA, all of whom must have been riding high in FIFA World Rankings at the time, broke away to form the supercontinent Laurentia. And now, for the chance to play S.J. Fowler in the final at Wembley, Scotland versus Ireland. I myself am a firmer than your average believer in the snowball Earth hypothesis.
Where did the tingling, erotic edges of Avalonia meld with those of Laurentia? Over in America, straight down the middle of New York City. Manhattan is Laurentia, Brooklyn is Avalonia. And my grandmother did always talk of Brooklyn's superior Cretaceous rock over the Manhattan schist. Manhattan schist, more like she used to say. In Ireland, they meet at the Shannon Estuary, at Limerick City. Above Limerick, slovenly Laurentia. Below, ecstatic Avalonia.
The origins of the phrase between a rock and a hard place are disputed. This is a rock. This is a hard place.
I too have rocks.
Mountains sprung up from the closure of the Lapidus Ocean, which can be understood as a department store of sorts, owned by one Mike Ashley, I think. Myself and my collaborator, you can think of us as the gneiss and schist of the poetry world, should be understood as tectonically related events.
The rocks of my colleague sprang from the same land from which sprang East Kilbride, Nuuk, which is in Greenland, Labrador City, County Tyrone, Denver, and Anchorage, Alaska. My rocks sprang from the same land from which sprang Jackie Robinson and the Brooklyn Dodgers, London, the extraordinary early career of Richard Harris, much of France, all of Belgium, Cologne Cathedral, Rembrandt working by the candlelight in Amsterdam. That's these rocks, my rocks.
I have been to Labrador City. I think we have more time than material, geologically speaking.
When I was a child, my brother and I had a rock fight in Cratloe Woods. His rock struck my fingernail. Instead of breaking it, it loosened it. A week later, doing jumping jacks in PE, the fingernail departed.
The Rhino-Hercynian zone is a fold. Sorry, when I typed it in, I typed Zine. Right, is a fold belt, a frigging fold belt, haha, of West-ish and Central-ish Europe, formed during the Hercynian orogeny about 350 to 280 million years ago. The zone consists of folded and thrusted Carboniferous sedimentary rocks that were deposited in a back arc basin along the southern margin of the then existing paleocontinent Laurasia. And my PT has the gall to marvel at my inflexibility.
Cratloe Woods is north of Limerick. So the rock my brother fired at me is a Laurentian rock. Like those rocks, clutched in my Laurentian colleagues' hooligan fists. Thank you.